Oh howdy all, grab yourself a drink, it is time for some Path of Exile discussion. Now you may notice that we've got Forbidden Shako up on the screen. This is not a new item, this is not an item that's being modified in patch 3.22. All I want you to do is just remember that this item exists. Keep it in the back of your mind, we'll come back to it later. The news for today for patch 3.22 is that the Crucible League is not going to go core. Grungy Games do specify two things that they want to do with it though. The first one is nerf the Totem Explosion node when it goes into standard. They haven't committed to the exact details, but expect details of that in the patch notes next week. And the second thing that's significant is that they may want to try to find a way to bring back aspects of it. I think this is going to be some of the fifth column nodes that modify skills. Things like the mod that cause Cobralash to lose its conversion to chaos and gain a bleed bonus. These sorts of mods may come back in some form in the future, at least that's the way that I'm reading it. When the league does end in a few weeks, that'll probably be on the 15th of August, all existing Geodes, Remnants and Magmatic ores are going splat. They're not going to migrate over into standard, so if you want to use them now. So we started this video talking about Forbidden Shako, and you might be thinking, how does this relate in any way to Crucible? Well, it doesn't. It relates to some of the things that are going to be added in 3.22 in the Ancestor expansion. There are two new support gems that are support gems that actually do damage themselves. These tend to be particularly ridiculous in conjunction with Forbidden Shako. Frigid Bond is one of these gems. Frigid Bond is looking really solid if you can get it on a Forbidden Shako at a high gem level. The reason for this is that Frigid Bond is most similar in terms of its skill effect to the existing skill Searing Bond. Searing Bond scales absolutely explosively with gem level. Now we don't know that Frigid Bond will be the same, I just think it's reasonable to assume that it could well be. And if that's the case, a Frigid Bond level 35 Forbidden Shako is going to be a ridiculous amount of damage. And when I say ridiculous, I'm talking about comparable to Searing Bond with Awakened in Power 5, Inner Skin of the Lords, and with 4 other support gems. We're talking that sort of level of craziness is what sort of damage you can expect if you get a Frigid Bond level 35 Forbidden Shako, and it's going to be at the cost of a much less important gear slot than your chest piece is. The other one that's worth a look is Corrupting Cry. Again, we don't know for certain that Corrupting Cry's Corrupting Blood will scale the same way that Corrupting Fever does, but if it does, there's a very big difference between gem level 21 Corrupting Fever and gem level 35 Corrupting Fever, which you're only going to be able to get with Forbidden Shako. One other thing that's important with these specific support gems is that it's actually quite hard to raise the gem level of a support gem a lot. There are a few things that let you do it, but most things that raise the level of a skill gem are actually restricted solely to affecting skill gems. Will this make Oshabi worth farming? Not really, because she already is worth farming because of White Life Force. Lots of people want that anyway, but it's going to be an extra little bonus, an extra little jackpot that could sometimes come up when you identify her most common drop. And these new Shakos will join other Forbidden Shakos that people particularly want, such as level 35 Ice Bite, or level 35 Impending Doom, or even slightly worse versions of those. Level 33 Impending Doom certainly sells for a fair bit as well. But whatever you do, don't count on getting a specific Forbidden Shako very early in the league. These things are rare, these things are not something that you can count on getting yourself at all in SSF, and there's something that you will need to spend a very large amount to get an in-demand one of in Trade League. There are now even more good outcomes in the Forbidden Shako pool, and I think that this item will start seeing an uptick in use amongst the very wealthiest players. Anyways, that's all I've got. May your Val Orbs have interesting results, and just keep in mind that most Val implicits apply only to socketed skill gems and not to socketed support gems or to support gems that are granted by special effects like Forbidden Shako, which aren't even gems, much less skill gems.